this is Aromie here. Welcome back to our life. Baxter DLC is taking us bowling.
Excellent.
Splendid, and the perfect place. You did us take us back to where we were before. And that was how you... That is how you ended up at the same exact bowling alley Baxter had brought you to years before. You followed your friends inside, holding that revelation close to your chest. It was fairly surreal to be there again. And with Baxter too. Everything appeared just as you remembered it, even down to the shiny red seats. The almost otherworldly atmosphere that seemed to encompass every bowling alley remained intact. It was remarkable how the lights and sounds were so different from normal day-to-day life. Before anyone could further question Baxter's planning with methods and what they were even doing there, you were at the front of the line. The group secured an alley, changed shoes, and were all set to start. How about we play on teams? Mine versus yours, Jude. Like always.
Sure.
Sure thing, Scott. The ends of Jude's lips curled slightly as he pointed at his sister. Randy, you're with me. Miranda bobbed her head. I don't think any of you guys want our boy Baxter here because he sucks. Unless he got better, surprisingly. Miranda bobbed her head, then gave the potential competition a once-over. When her gaze fell on Terry, he shot his hand up.
Yeah.
I would want to be on Randy's team. Jude laughed, rubbing his cheek, rubbing the side of his neck. He let Terry sweat by pretending to contemplate his request. Pretty please? Not much of an argument, but sure, he makes a team. Yes. Sorry, Scott, Michigo Baxter, but she's my girlfriend. We're kind of a package deal. Ah, you're a couple. Well, he didn't know. Yep, we are. We have been this whole time. Don't tell me you didn't know. Terry gave Baxter a smug jab on it with his elbow. Well, I didn't want to presume anything. Still, hallelujah, I'd hope it had worked out for you. He pressed his palms against his heart and let out a sincere sigh of relief. Terry wasn't so self-impressed anymore.
Welcome.
What does that mean?
Oh?
Was the romantic tension you had towards Miranda meant to be a secret? It felt fairly obvious from the few occasions we interacted. That's preposterous. I never said a word back then. Come on, Terry. You downright weren't subtle about it. I'm pretty sure everyone knew. Wait, really? Even then, how long have you liked her? Give him a break, Baxter. Terry was trying his best. Pretty sure everyone knew. Terry's lips parted, but not a single sound came out. Blinking quickly became the extent of his abilities in that shocked state. Miranda bumped him with her hip and giggled. We've been each other's favorites for a long time. That's sweet. That's sweet. So many lovely couples here with an ex-couple here. The sweet moment pulled Terry out of his embarrassment and swiped away the worries from his expression. Baxter cleared his throat.
I apologize.
I apologize for the distraction. A distraction from the secondary distraction he already orchestrated. What a feat.
Yeah.
It's cool. Like you said, it all worked out. That's what counts with me. Energized, Terry punched a fist into his opposite palm. He nodded towards Allie. And right now, I'm ready to roll. We've got our teams. We can start. If you don't mind me, Chico. Listen. Fuck it. Whatever. Whatever. You casually pointed at Baxter with your thumb, and Miranda caught her jaw in mid-fall. She blinked.
So great.
That's great. Nodding in response, you could feel, it's my turn to fucking leave, actually. Actually, it's my turn to leave. We're here with you for a week, and we disappear. Because it seems like you're stationed here in California. It's my turn to leave. My turn to make memories and peace out on you, bitch. but not really, because, hopefully you say you love me before I leave, Nodding in response, you could feel Baxter's doubtful stare prickling your skin. You turned, catching his eye, and he resumed a more professional composure. How are you deciding who's going first? Rock, paper, scissors. I was gonna suggest that. A classic. One I rarely win, though I only choose a rock. What a statement. He was the man with conversations. Rock-based convictions, apparently.
Okay. Very well.
Regardless, since Jude got to pick who was on his team, I believe it would be fair for Scott's team to take their turn first. Jude shrugged smugly at the suggestion. He gestured towards the colorful bowling balls. Go ahead, it's not gonna make a difference.
He's right.
Wait, Scott, do you suck too? Scott calmly readjusted his glasses and smirked. He pointed at his husband-to-be. Jude's gonna lose no matter when he steps up to the alley. Jude snorted. His competitive nature burned brightly in his unshakable expression. Bring it on, Grant. You're about to get your government funding revoked. What the fuck? Scott's mouth wobbled slightly at the sound of his own nickname, but he was determined to keep his game face on. Squaring his shoulders, he went straight to the rack and selected his ball. Scott went for the medium option. He picked it up and sent it down the alley with a large curve. Unfortunately, the ball barely managed to bring down 2 pins. His confidence had altered, though you caught him mumbling under his breath. No, just try again. The bowling ball rolled on back, and Scott brought it up to the starting line, and on this round, he managed to put a special oomph into his swing. The pin scattered in all directions. It would have been an easy strike if it had been his first throw, but it wasn't. Your team opened with a spare.
Okay.
You can go next, Michiko. You hopped to your feet and gave your arm a quick stretch while weighing your bowling ball options. Well, I always went with the medium one, so. Good old reliable. The feel was what you were used to. I messed with that fit. Moving with precision, you took position. With a single swing, you let go, and we're gonna be making sure it's a strike. Her skills were as sharp as ever. That was perfect. Because I showed off to Baxter before as a elite pro of the bowling. The ball masterfully flew down the alley with a swerve into a strike. Scott excitedly threw his arms into the air and cheered.
Whoa!
Incredible! Thanks. I'm gonna try my best to keep it up. Win or lose, I'm betting on you for the best individual score. Last up for your crew was the wild card, the person any of you least expected to be here, yet he was the only reason you were there to begin with. See if you got any better, bro. Your paths. Oh my god, imagine he takes other people here on dates. But he's thinking of us. Sad. Your paths crossed while you were returning to the sitting area, and Baxter was going to select his ball. He briefly tilted his head in your direction. I'm also glad to be on this team. Don't say that shit to me. Do not. You're leading me on. The sound of his voice stopped you dead in your tracks. You looked over your shoulder, but he had continued on his path. Shaking your head, you secured your seat and watched what he did next. Baxter brushed his fingers along the rack of shiny weighted spheres. His hand stopped on a white ball, the heaviest size. Are you sure about that? He selected it, not without a subtle smirk. He strode up to the alley. Did you pick it just because it was white? Because didn't he pick the medium bowling ball on our first go? You strode up to the alley just fine with that. Biting your bottom lip, you tried to swallow a laugh. You knew under the surface, Baxter was ecstatic with the showing, especially after his inability to use that in the past. Baxter didn't waste time messing around. He hefted the ball in an arc and sent it right off. He managed to topple 7 pins. With the first throw and scored a spare on his second round.
Not bad.
Yo, wow, have you been practicing for this moment? I'll accept that. He pivoted to the group and dipped his head good-naturedly after his performance. Jude stood up and clapped politely. Alright, it's our turn now. The opposing team started off with their leader, Jude, who matched his fiancé and got a spare. In his case, he managed almost every pin on the first try and sealed the deal on the second. Terry bounced over and scored a spectacular strike like it was nothing. He met your eye and grinned. In terms of one-on-one, he showed himself as your real competition. Finally, it was Randy's round. She grabbed one of the heavier balls and boldly skipped to the alley, and what she did couldn't be classified as a throw, but a gentle nudge. The ball scooted right into the gutter. There wasn't enough momentum to even reach the pins. Everyone in your group gawked at her in disbelief. Jude's jaw in particular hit the floor. Randy, what was that? Whoops, I don't know. Oh wait, she's trying to be a wing woman for me? She spun her heel and twirled a curl with faux innocence. Jude ran a hand down his tense face. He knew what kind of mischief his sister was cooking.
Really?
You're throwing the game for me. My own sister. No! That was an accident. Miranda couldn't stop a single giggle and fluttered to her seat. She sweetly folded her hands in her lap. Damn. Jude sighed and bared down on her with all his big brotherly disappointment. His demeanor was sour enough to spoil Miranda's sugar-coated smile. Like a traitor's reveal, her true twisted intentions were revealed. I'm with Grant on this one. Well, this is in the bag. That's not fair. Guess I also might have an accident. I love you, Randy. No way. I'll even the scales for you, Jude. It's bad for you guys. Sorry, Scott. You can't have 4 members in your team. I'll lose for Jude's win. You know what? I love you, Randy.
Thanks.
I love you too, Michiko. She held her hands up in the shape of a heart and beamed. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. I'm not out yet, and neither is Jude. Go ahead and try.
So?
I would carry this team if I had to. Chuckling, Scott got to his feet and pushed his sleeves up to his elbows. It was his turn. Good luck, you're gonna need it. So am I. Round after round, Miranda found even worse ways to send her bowling ball across the aisle. It was impressive, and your whole team reaped the benefits. Jude gave it his all, and Terry did what he could to buoy up the points with strikes, but their efforts weren't enough. And at the end of the game, you, Scott, Baxter, and Miranda were the winners. Even though it was a biased 4 versus 2, Scott was more than thrilled to claim his win. A victory was a victory, and he didn't care to lose. He offers Scott a high five, fist bump, he held both your hands up. Can do indie for Baxter. Oh, I could hug him. Would that be too much? We did it in the rush of happiness. Baxter squeezed his eyelids shut and leaned into your touch. He didn't return the embrace. That's fine, it's whatever. His laughter filled your head like an old favorite song.
You are incredible.
That was a splendid game. I don't think I've ever had one quite like that. You sighed happily in response, and Baxter suddenly went still. Letting go, he untangled himself from your orbit and stepped back to a more polite distance. That was the first time you'd been physically affectionate in years, and it happened so easily. Your body had moved on autopilot. For a split second, you were 18 and sharing a special summer with the boldly confident and bizarrely dressed boy riding the condo up the street. I told you, you're gonna lose. Scott punctuated his teasing with a breathy laugh. Bending over, he planted his palms against his knees and rocked on his feet. Jude attempted to frown, but the redder his fiance's face became, the more his own smile grew affectionately. Yeah, tough guy, you win. Don't pass out. Chuckling, Scott stood straight and removed his glasses. He wiped an eye with the side of his wrist and then began cleaning the lenses with the bottom of his shirt.
Good call.
Despite the totally stacked odds, it was fun. Would have wanted it any other way. From the precious way Jude watched his husband be, you got the impression that Jude probably agreed Scott deserved to win today. He glanced away suddenly, deciding not to intrude any further on the couple's private moment. It was a comfort to see the other couple in better spirits, even with all the disagreements over the wedding details. You knew at the end of the day, Jude and Scott truly loved each other. That was Baxter's plan all along. Peeking at Baxter, you caught the genuinely pleased smile softening his expression. Watching the couple reconnect was his win.
Well.
Since we're already here and it's nearly lunch, how about we grab something to eat? Here, you went to get food at a bowling alley. You went against Scott's whole view of the classy planner. To be fair, it surprised you too, and you knew him better. Yes, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
It's cool with me. How bad could it be? Let's do it. Scott's focus flickered between the siblings, his brows raised in contrast to their easygoing remarks. Yeah. Cheryl Lee here. Terry snorted and folded his arms across his chest. He didn't share Scott's qualms at the moment.
Sorry.
I'll bite. So Baxter, I gotta know why you would want to eat at a run-of-the-mill place like this. Immediately, the corners of Scott's mouth curled triumphantly. He soaked in the validation that he wasn't the only one thinking things felt off. Do they secretly have an unquestionably good cook back there? You can tell me. Baxter's nose wrinkled at Terry's interrogation. He combed his tips of his fingers through his swoop of bangs.
You know.
I'm not a nobleman, if you weren't aware. I eat food the same as everyone else, and I'm perfectly happy to explore the convenient meal option directly in front of us. Terry nudged his head in Miranda's direction. He didn't take his eyes off of Baxter, though. He's evading the final question. Maybe the food is really something here. I recall when we went bowling together, you had us get food somewhere more upscale. Don't be so shocked. Baxter is very flexible. You didn't want to eat here last time. Baxter is very flexible. Is he now? Terry's smirk morphed into a shared chuckle with Miranda. You didn't give him the satisfaction of reacting. You continued your original thought. You can't enjoy the finer classics without also appreciating simpler comforts.
Yes.
Exactly, Michiko. You understand. Yeah, we understand each other so much, but we're not meant to be. Despite Baxter's continued insistence that he was the type of person who would definitely eat at a bowling alley, the group remained unconvinced. They squished together and watched with intrigue as he approached the counter and actually put in an order. Baxter selected a veggie burger, which evoked several murmurs of approval from your friends. Out of all the options, that appeared to be the most fitting for a fancy wedding planner. You stepped away from the counter and your friends quickly fell into line, picking out their own lunches. Jude ordered a chili dog, Scott got a hamburger, Terry picked a slice of cheese pizza, and Miranda asked for the same. Plus, a big plate of nachos were ordered for anyone who wanted to split. Before you knew it was your turn at the counter, you decided to go with... chicken strips with french fries. Yep. Oh my god, I could have had onion rings. Whatever. After all the excitement from the game, you were quite looking forward to lunch. The only thing left to do was to wait. You found a free spot near the alleys to sit down. Terry idly drummed his fingertips on the table, but you couldn't even hear the sound. This is where we're going to stop for today's episode. Baxter. I don't know what his mind is. Where his mind even is. What is he even thinking? I don't know. I wanted to see his point of view, but we will never know his point of view. But anyway, thank you guys for watching today's episode. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.